Ever dreamed of creating your own garden oasis but didn't know where to start? Imagine a place where vibrant flowers bloom under the warm sun, where fresh vegetables grow, ready for the picking. A space that's not just a feast for the eyes, but also a sanctuary for the soul. A dream, you say? Well, dreams have a funny way of turning into reality with a little guidance, a dash of determination, and a sprinkle of patience. Today, we're turning that dream into reality. A successful garden starts with a good plan. Just as a house needs a blueprint, your garden needs a plan. This isn't just about deciding where to put your tomatoes and marigolds, it's about understanding your space, your soil, and your goals. First, let's talk about location. The right location can make or break a garden. Most plants love the sun, so find a spot that gets at least 6 hours of sunlight a day. If you're in a city, a balcony or a windowsill can work wonders. If you're in the country, you've got fields of opportunity, literally. Now let's get down and dirty with your soil. Testing your soil is like getting a health checkup for your garden. It tells you what your soil is made of and what it needs. Look out for soil that is rich and crumbly, almost like chocolate cake. Too sandy or too clayey, and your plants might struggle. Soil testing kits are an easy way to learn about your soil, and they're readily available online or at your local garden center. Once you know your soil, you can start to plan your beds. Think of your garden as a neighborhood. Each plant is a house, and each house needs a certain amount of space. Some plants, like tomatoes, need a lot of room to grow. Others, like radishes, are happy to squeeze in anywhere. Plan your beds with this in mind, and remember, it's easier to water and weed a few large beds than lots of small ones. Also, consider what you want from your garden. Is it a mix of flowers and veggies? Or maybe an herb garden right outside your kitchen window for fresh ingredients whenever you need? Your garden, your rules. And lastly, don't forget to consider the seasons. Some plants love the summer heat. Others prefer the cool of fall. By planning for the seasons, you can have a garden that's vibrant all year round. With the right location and planning, your garden is off to a great start. Choosing the right plants is key to a thriving garden. The secret sauce to gardening success lies in selecting the right plants. And no, it's not as complicated as it sounds. Let's dive in. First, consider your climate. Some plants adore the sun, basking in its warmth all day. These sun lovers include dazzling marigolds, plump tomatoes, and aromatic rosemary. If your garden is a sun-soaked paradise, these plants will revel in it. But what if your garden is graced with shade? Fear not. Many plants thrive in cooler, shadowy corners. Think lush ferns, delicate impatiens, or the ever-popular hostas. These plants will add a touch of verdant serenity to any shade-drenched spot. Next, let's talk about soil. Believe it or not, different plants prefer different soil types. Cacti and succulents, for instance, love sandy, well-drained soil. They're also fantastic for beginners, requiring minimal care while adding an exotic flair to your garden. On the other hand, plants like hydrangeas prefer rich, loamy soil, and their vibrant flowers are sure to be a showstopper. Now, you might be wondering about space. Some plants, like sprawling squash vines or towering sunflowers, need plenty of room to stretch out. But if you're working with a smaller space, don't worry. Many plants are perfectly content in compact areas. Sweet peas, basil, and cherry tomatoes are all excellent options for small gardens or container gardening. Finally, consider the care each plant needs. Some plants are low maintenance, perfect for those of us with busy schedules. Snake plants, spider plants, and pothos are all forgiving of forgetful waterers and thrive in a variety of light conditions. If you have a little more time to dedicate, roses, orchids, or a vegetable garden can be rewarding projects that yield beautiful and sometimes edible results. Remember, variety is the spice of life, and it's the same for your garden. A mix of plants with different colors, sizes, and shapes will create visual interest and a sense of depth. With the right plants, your garden will flourish in no time. So get out there, start choosing your plants, and let's bring your garden to life. The right tools can make your gardening tasks easier. Let's dive into the essentials you'll need to transform your space into a green paradise. First up, a sturdy pair of gardening gloves will protect your hands from thorns and dirt. Next, a garden trowel is your best friend for digging holes, moving soil, and planting seedlings. Don't forget a garden fork, perfect for loosening soil and aerating your garden beds. Now, let's talk about a garden rake. It's not just for piling up autumn leaves, but also for smoothing soil and breaking down larger clumps. A pruner comes in handy when you need to trim back overgrown plants or harvest your fresh veggies. And let's not forget the watering can or hose, because every plant needs a good drink. Finally, a wheelbarrow will make moving soil, compost, or plants around your garden a breeze. Equipped with the right tools, you're ready to start planting. It's time to get your hands dirty and start planting. Your garden's foundation starts with preparing the soil. Think of your soil as the kitchen of your plants. It's where they'll get all their nutrients, so it's crucial to set it up correctly. Start by turning the soil using a spade or garden fork. This process, known as tilling, helps to aerate the soil, making it easier for roots to penetrate. Next, you'll want to enrich your soil with compost. Compost is like a multivitamin for your plants, providing them with the nutrients they need to grow strong and healthy. Spread a 2 to 3 inch layer of compost over your garden bed and work it into the soil. Now we're ready to plant. If you're planting seeds, simply make a shallow trench with your finger, sprinkle in the seeds, and lightly cover them with soil. For seedlings or small plants, dig a hole wide and deep enough to accommodate the root ball. Place the plant in the hole, making sure it's at the same depth it was in its container, and fill in around it with soil. Remember, different plants have different spacing requirements, so be sure to give your plants the room they need to grow. A good rule of thumb is to leave at least 1 foot of space between small plants and 2 feet for larger ones. After planting, give your garden a good watering. It's like a welcome drink for your plants. Water until the soil is moist but not waterlogged. And there you have it. You've just planted your first garden. But remember, gardening is a journey, not a destination. Your plants will need your care and attention to thrive. So keep a watchful eye, water regularly, and soon you'll see the fruits of your labor. Great job! Your plants are now in the ground and ready to grow. Now it's time for the magic to happen. The seeds will sprout, the flowers will bloom, and your garden will come to life. So let's move on to our next step, maintenance tips. Maintaining your garden is crucial for its growth. It's not just about planting the seeds and letting nature do the rest. It's about nurturing your green space, much like you would a child or a cherished pet. First off, let's talk watering, the life source of any garden. It's a simple act, but it's all about balance. Too little water and your plants will wilt. Too much and they'll drown. For most plants, watering early in the morning is best, as it allows the water to seep into the soil before the harsh midday sun can evaporate it. Next up, weeding. It's not the most glamorous part of gardening, but it's essential. Weeds compete with your plants for resources, so you'll want to pluck them out regularly. Make it a weekly ritual to stroll through your garden, pulling out any unwanted intruders. And remember, get them by the roots, or they'll just spring up again. Now, on to pruning. This is the art of controlled cutting, a bit like giving your plants a haircut. Pruning helps improve the health and productivity of your plants. It allows for better air circulation and light penetration, encouraging new growth and fruiting. For most plants, late winter or early spring is the best time to prune, when they are dormant and won't mind a little trim. But don't forget, every plant is unique and has its own needs. Some might prefer a little extra shade, others might thrive in dry soil. So take the time to understand your garden, to observe the changes, and to adapt accordingly. Gardening is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor. It's a journey, a dialogue with nature, a labor of love. And like any love story, it requires patience, dedication, and a whole lot of heart. But the reward, a thriving garden, a green oasis of your own making, is well worth the effort. With these maintenance tips, your garden will thrive all season long. Now comes the best part, enjoying your garden. Imagine the satisfaction of stepping into your very own garden oasis, a place where you can unwind, rejuvenate, and connect with nature. It's time to reap the rewards of your hard work. Picture yourself leisurely strolling down the garden path, taking in the vibrant colors and fragrances of your flowers. You might choose to sit down with a good book, surrounded by the calming rustle of leaves and the cheerful chirping of birds. Or perhaps you'd prefer to engage in a bit of mindful weeding, finding serenity in the rhythm of this simple garden task. And let's not forget the joy of harvesting. There's nothing quite like the taste of a fresh tomato or a fragrant herb, plucked right from your own garden. It's a testament to your dedication, patience, and love for nature. So why wait? Start your gardening journey today and watch your dreams grow.